Great White Northerner here, and we are ready to hunt some more pennies. So I've managed to find 5 more bundles of 10 pennies. I got to hunt all over the place to find these things. These have been out of circulation for 9 years now. 2012 was the last year that they issued the Canadian penny, and we finally found enough to make up a box here. So we are doing the book filler series. This is episode number 4, box number 4, and the goal is try and get all of the small cents from 1920 up to 2012. We've got 2 books here that we're filling up. We are 86 out of 110 in these books here, so you can see we are missing just basically the early stuff from 37 back to 1920. These are going to be hard to find for sure. The 1953 shoulder fold, which is a key date, a key variety, and then also a key variety here, this 1985 pointed 5. Getting a pretty good collection, but always room for some improvement, so we'll keep looking for ones to improve. And then in the more modern pennies, they're all in pretty decent shape, but we can always find better, and certainly these early ones, the 89 and this 92, could be improved upon. 2006 P. The P mint mark ones are pretty hard to find, so hopefully we can run into one of those. 2007 and 2008 no Ps, don't find those very often, or if at all, so those are going to be difficult. And the 2010 magnetic and the 2012 magnetic are what we're looking for. So 86 out of the 110, and yeah, we've got a hunt ahead of us, so looking forward to get through these, so let's just get at it.
Have a good time, live a good life. What you mean when you say you are new heights? What you mean when you play like all night? Nightlife is a highlight. I'm a fly guy, this is skyline. I don't got the time for my problems. I got the time to dissolve them. Music is my oxygen, I'm breathing, no stopping. You remember my oxygen, the music when it's dropping. Some of these vibes provided in these lines. I am to design the rhyme, checking my mind. Music be scribed, I got ahead of my time. Deep prescribed, cause I feed it full of lines. Money ain't nothing, you turn it into something. The sun for the money make you look real funny. Put my own name in discussion, I'm a hustler. Work real hard to show you that I'm coming. Let me tell you that I'm going.
Right, so we're on the first roll here. I've just dumped it out, and we've already got a find. So what I'm going to do, just so you know, so if we end up with a bunch of, the young heads, the 50s and early 60s, then I probably won't bring you in on all of these, or, we might just only find a few. Now, this was the second penny in. Third penny in. I had seen this one. Oh, and there's one right in behind it. 1957 and a 1958. These are both the young head variety, and they are relatively common, but nice to find those. I'll set them aside. I tend to keep them all. They're all pure copper, and some of the earlier pennies. So we'll go through, and I will bring you in. There's a 56. If I find some interesting finds, if I'm finding a lot of the young heads, then I might just do it by bundle, as I've done in the past, just so the video doesn't get too long. So I will, while we're in here, let's just take a look, because I can see a couple look a little bit older in behind. No, these are just all in the 70s. These are all copper as well, so 100% copper, so I do hang on to those. There's another young head, 1963. Some varieties on there we can look for. There's a decent looking 674. I think I've got better in the book, but I'll just double check that one. All right, if I find anything really cool, I will bring you back. So just at the end of that roll here, I've got the 70s copper all set aside here. It's a little bit heavier, and it's pure copper, so I do hang on to all of that. And then I had pulled a couple of the nicer ones, the 79 and the 78, because these both have some doubling to watch for. And it does turn out that the 78 does have a little bit of doubling on it, and you can kind of see it right there. Now, these are relatively common. I usually only look at the nicer ones, so I just looked at the 2, and the 79 didn't have the doubling. I will keep the 78 just because it does have a little bit of doubling, but you are looking for doubling on both of these. This 1979 and the 78 actually, you can get doubling all the way back onto the 978 or 979. So look for that when you're doing your hunts, and we'll check all the rest of these separately near the end of the hunt. Roll 2 down, and we did find a relatively nice 1981. It's in pretty decent shape, so I'm going to set it aside. I'm not sure it's going to improve the one in the book, but it's good enough to set aside for now, and we'll check it at the end. I'll just bring you in quickly on this one. So one of the things that you do want to be looking for when you're going through your change, of course, is the 1983 US penny. You are looking for the copper version of this one. These are primarily made of zinc. It was a transitional year, and they did make some accidentally with copper. They are worth a ton of money. If you can find one, you are looking for one that's going to be over 3 grams, like 3.10, 3.11, somewhere in there, I believe is what you're looking for a copper one. And the 2.5 is going to be zinc. So not what we're looking for, but always good to have a scale just in case. Just a little further down that roll, and I thought I'd bring you in on this one. I haven't actually flipped it over, but look at the quality of this young head here. So this will be somewhere between 1953 and 1964. Let's see what we got. That's in excellent shape. Hopefully it's a little bit earlier one. Well, that's not bad. It's a 1960. I'm pretty sure that's going to improve the book. So we will set that one aside as a find for sure, and we'll check it at the end. Awesome. Just a little further, and we've got our first wheat cent of the hunt. And it is a 1950D. And we're on roll 6 of the first bundle, and we've got another find here, but it's kind of unfortunate because it's actually a 1964 that's in actually really nice shape, or pretty decent shape anyway, for a 1964. The problem is it's got whatever this is on the front, so it's been glued to something or something got stuck to it. It's pretty much wrecked the reverse side, so won't be keeping that, but thought you might want to see it. Roll 8, and we've got our first 40s find. So right here is a 1947 plain, so there is a maple leaf version of this as well. The King George VI on the obverse, and that's not bad shape for a brown penny. So yeah, I'll take that. Last roll of that bundle, and we've got our second wheat penny. So let's see what we've got here. I have not looked yet, and it's a 1945. A little bit older. Roll 12, and our first foreign of the hunt. So we got a new penny. These are super common. Find these all the time. And I don't know what year that is. That is a 1995. Just on the end of this roll, and we actually have a book filler. So I believe we are looking for a 2012 magnetic, which this one qualifies as. And I'm pretty sure we were looking for one in the book. So it's in pretty decent shape. Still got a little bit of scuffing on it. So for 2012, I would hope to get a little bit nicer, but I will set that one aside as a find. Roll 14, and we got a real beauty here. Look at this one. This is a 1967 Philadelphia in gorgeous shape. Really, really nice. Now, it's got a bit of, I would say, some wear points on the hair there. So I don't know if it may have been cleaned. It doesn't look quite as defined as you might want it to be. But that's still a nice looking penny. So I will set that aside. Up here with a few of the other US that I've been pulling out. And let's see what else we can find. The nice thing about hunting pennies in Canada is that a lot of these rolls have been sitting around, or the pennies themselves have been sitting around probably in jars and buckets and sock drawers, and they've been sitting there for years and years, at least 9 since they've even been in circulation. So we've got 9 years less circulation on them, and plus nobody ever spent them anyway. They just sat around forever. So that's, we get some really nice stuff when we're going through them, and some of them just have not been in circulation that much. So hopefully we find some other nice stuff. Just a little further in that roll, and we've got another beautiful 1967 here. So, I don't know, maybe they are mint right out of a roll. Just stuck in the middle of this. 2 of them there anyway. Roll 15, and we've got our third wheat penny. It is a 1958 Philadelphia. Roll 19, and I thought this was a penny for a second. I thought maybe it was stamped on the wrong planchette, but it's actually a dime. See, there's I flip it over, but look at the coloration on that. Yeah, no wonder it ended up in a penny roll. It looks like a penny, only smaller. Anyway, we're up 9 cents, and I've been finding a whole bunch of these 67s. So look at them all there. Didn't bring you in for them all, but what do we got? 4. We got 8 so far. Halfway through here, we're on roll 25, and we have found an older Canadian penny here in 1950, King George VI. So, a little grungy on the obverse there, but we'll take it. Roll 31, and we've got a good start here. So this is the first roll of this second last bundle, and we've already got a King George VI, and it's another 1947. We're on the third roll of this bundle. 2, 4, 6, yeah, third roll of this bundle, and we've got a young head here. So let's take a look. It is a 1953, so that's the first year of the young head. And I'll throw that up here. Next roll, and we've got a pretty nice looking 1966 here. So I'm going to set that aside, see how that compares to stuff I've got in my book, and we'll check that at the end. A little later in that same roll, and we've got a King George VI here. So let's just take a look at what we found. 1945. Always nice to find these old King Georges, so set it up with the rest. And yeah, definitely these rolls. So this paper here, I don't think, maybe the last one did, but this one here doesn't seem to have anything before about 1997 or so. Might be a 90. Yeah, I just see 97s, 96s. So definitely older. So again, going back to what I was talking about earlier, these are, you know, quite often you get collections that have been sitting around forever, so they don't have any of the modern pennies in them. And hopefully we find some stuff that is actually in really nice shape. Oh, there's another King George, just as I was flipping through. Right there. 1944. Year earlier. I think that's our earliest yet of the, of the Canadian pennies. It's 1944. Roll 38, and we've got another King George here, 1951. So second last year for the King Georges. Reasonable shape for the year. All right, we're starting this last bundle here, and I just thought I'd bring you in because I just happened to notice as I went to go grab this. This is probably an overstuffed roll, so we probably made 3 or 4 cents here. Yeah. I'll see what we get. I'll bring it back if there's anything in here. Well, I was right. We made about 4 cents there, minus really these two actually. So right at the end of the roll are these 2 foreign coins. So we got a 1999 Trinidad and Tobago 1 cent, and oh, looks like we got 2 of them. Well, I just dumped out the next roll, and we've actually got one right here. So it looks like another King George VI. And let's see what we got. 1946. We've got one of those already, I believe. Or no, we don't. Actually, a 44 and a 45, but we didn't have a 46. I should have kept the camera on. Right in behind it is a pretty grungy looking 1947. Roll 43, and we've got another King George VI here. So let's see what we got. And it's a 1940. I think that's our youngest or oldest yet. Yeah, 1940. Oh, and we got one right in behind there, actually. I was just about to turn the camera off, and there's another one right there. 1950. All right, let's just take a quick look. Oops, young head. 1962. And some 70s. Next roll, and we've got another one. It's a 1949. Found a pretty nice 1979 just a little further down that roll. So I did check it for the doubling already, but it's worth hanging on to, I think, for the age of that penny. I did find a couple others earlier, so I don't know if I brought you in on all of these, but there was another 1979 and an 81, and I think I did talk about the 66 though. So just 3 more to go, and I decided to do that white roll that was just wrapped in paper. And I did find in here is a 1989 that's in really nice shape. So I know we happen to need to upgrade that one, so I will set that aside. We're on the 3rd last roll here, and this just slid down and revealed a 1941. So that I think we've got, no, actually we don't. So we got the 1940 is the earliest, and 41 will be the second earliest coin we've got so far. So that's excellent. Nice to find those. And always like to get them in the early 40s and those late 30s if we can get them, or any of the 30s to be honest. All right, we're on the 2nd last roll here, and I was just dumping this out, and I thought I'd stop because as I was going, I saw this, and I also saw this, which I think just looks, yeah, maybe not. No, it is. It's a little bit older, 1960. I thought it might have been a King George, but we've got a clip planchette here, I think. This one right here, 1980. It's not in great shape, unfortunately, but that appears to be a clipped coin there. Yeah, I would say typically they'll have kind of a V groove where the clipping is. So think of that as a clip planchette, so that's always nice to find. All right, I will bring you in if I find anything else. The last roll is done, and we actually found a couple things in this last roll. So we found a, oh, actually this was not part of that, but we did find a 2009 non-magnetic, which is the more rare version of the 2009. There's a magnetic and non-magnetic version, and so we have found a few of these in our previous hunts, but definitely one I'll hang on to. It is a little more rare than the rest. And yeah, that's it. So let's, I'm going to go through these and I'll do a recap after. I want to just go through, check all of the 50s and 60s coins for their varieties. I'll find out if there's anything in there. There's some shoulder fold, no shoulder fold ones to look for in the 55s and 53s. So we'll go through those and then all the hanging versions, see if there's anything in there. And I'll bring you back if I find anything. All right, so there's our finds. So I did go through the US coins that I had. So I got this stack of 67s. These are just beautiful, all in really great shape. I went and I checked my book, and would you believe the one in my book was as good or better than any of these? So, you know, I got a bunch of 67s. I'll hang on to all of these, and they just don't really replace anything that's in my book. We did get a few wheat pennies there. The oldest was the 1945. And then I did check the varieties here. I went through and checked to see what would replace stuff in my book. The only variety I found was a 1962. It is the hanging 2, which, you know, they're relatively common. Not as common as the 63s. The 63s are by far the most common in my opinion. But this is definitely a hanging 2. You can kind of, I don't know if I can get it to show up there. Kind of flashes at you. There you go. So there's the hanging portion there. And then the other thing to watch for in the 62s is the guitar and harp variety, where there's some striations or lines right here. And I have yet to find one of those, but always be on the lookout for that. What else did we find? I did check the 53 because we are looking for the 53 shoulder fold in here, and we did not have that. We have the no shoulder fold version, which is the more common one. Found that clip planchette. It's a 1980. Pretty grungy looking, but is clipped, so I'll hang on to that. Found a non-magnetic 2009, so again, a nice variety to pick up, and they're, you know, not common, but they're more common than some of the others. Some foreign coins there. I did find another one from the Trinidad and Tobago. That 1978 was, I think, in that first roll. That's got the doubling on the 8. And all the way back to 1940, so we got a decent number of King George VI. And then for the book, so we have one filler for the book, but not in this book. So this book here, we actually have 4 that we are replacing. We have a 1988. There's a nice replacement here. The 79 is slightly better, so I will pop that one in, take the other one out. And then we also got a 1966 that will replace the one we had in there. And we had a 1960 that is an upgrade as well. But we didn't get any of the younger ones. So we, you know, the ones that we need are the hardest ones to get for sure. So we'll just keep looking. I got another box actually lined up, so we can do box 5 shortly. And then let's just see if I can move this out of the way, because underneath this here, I have, do this without spilling everything all over the place. I do have the other book, and so we've got a replacement for the 1989. It's definitely a much nicer one. And then the only hole filler we had was this 2012 magnetic. So I will pop that in. And hopefully, don't know if this is the one that was, no, these ones are fine. So I get that in there. So we're up one. So we got 87 out of the 110 now filled. And yeah, we're getting a decent collection of these coins now. So definitely picking up. Nice to get at least one hole filled this week, or this hunt. And we've got a bunch that are upgrades here. So awesome. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please do remember to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. And look forward to doing the next hunt. You all take care and have a great day.